everybody, my name is Hannah Crothers and I own Hannah Hewitt Art. Today I have been asked to take part in this sipping sketch, which I'm so excited about because I love me some coffee. Now, whether you're gonna be sipping a bit of wine, having a cup of tea, whatever, whether you're gonna be zooming your girlfriends during this and we can all do it together, or whether it's just gonna be you and me, I'm very, very excited to show you some new information, to share some really cool deets with you, all about International Women's Day, a bit about this Irish artist called Orla Keeley, and then what we're gonna do is take some inspiration from her work and translate it into our own, and we're gonna work on some illustrations. Now, don't be intimidated by the word illustration. You won't need anything apart from a bit of paper, whether that's proper sketch paper or whether it's just from your printer. The idea of this is that it is accessible to you as possible, and then a pencil and colouring pencils. That is literally it. And I'm really excited to have you along with me. So feel free to share this on your Facebook or ring up a friend and say, do you want to do this with me? I'm really excited and I hope lots of people take part in this. So let's get to it. International Women's Day is a day that we can celebrate women's social, economic, cultural and political achievements. For me as a woman, I think it's really important that when we see talent or gifts or a trait in another woman that we like, instead of being jealous, let's celebrate it. And what I thought would be really cool to do today is to ask a certain someone what the theme of International Women's Day is today. Let's ask them. Hey Alexa! What is the theme of 2021's International Women's Day?
The theme for International Women's Day 2021 is Choose to Challenge, encouraging us all to call out gender bias and inequality, celebrate women's achievements, and help create an inclusive world. For more information, visit internationalwomensday.com.
There you go, there's the answer for you. So on to Orla Keeley. Orla Keeley is an Irish artist. Her work has been used literally all over the world and you may recognise some of her designs. I can nearly guarantee that you know Orla Keeley without actually knowing Orla Keeley. For instance, you actually might even own one of her pillows. Her designs have been so popular that they have been bought by major retailers like Next and even Sainsbury's, I think. Her works are shown literally all over the UK. She has been incredibly successful, which I think we should give her a little clap for. Let's do it. Okay, she is, ignore my nails. She is an independent woman. Her designs are completely unique and although they're so simple, they have taken the art world by storm. Her designs can be found everywhere, from cushions to mugs. Like you might have an Orla Keeley mug without realising you have an Orla Keeley mug. Bedding and even buses. Buses, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that kind of bus, like a beep beep bus, like a beep beep, like it's a bus. Her designs have been on buses. Is that not so cool?
So I just thought I'd take a few seconds to showcase some of her works that are found in so many UK households, UK and Ireland households. You can see her designs on cushions, on utensil holders, on butter dishes, on literally everything. And next is the bus. And she's on loads of buses.
So a bit of her academic background. She studied in NCAD, the National College of Art and Design in Dublin. She has been all over the world since. She has worked in New York and in London. While she was in London, she was working for Esprit in the design sector, but she was also studying for her Masters in the Royal College of Arts in London. In her exit show, the designers from Harrods, yeah, like big Harrods, right? We all love going to Harrods when we go to London. Some of the designers were there and bought her range of hats and designs. Now, that is so cool, especially studying your Masters. Imagine studying your Masters and then in your exit show, your designs are bought by Harrods. Whoa. And there's one last thing that I really want to mention about Orla Keeley, right, is that she loved her granny and she credits her granny to being the biggest creative influence in her life. And I think that's what today is all about, right? Women supporting other women, women uplifting other women and inspiring each other. I just think it's super cute and I'm exactly the same. I love my granny. I love my granny. She's the influence for everything. Patricia, if you're listening, big love. So less on Keeley's background and then more on to speaking about her work. So I actually have a quote from her which I've written down in my notebook because I think by now you can tell I can talk for the nation. So I just thought I would directly quote her. because she says it all. She says, I love the order and regiment of repetition and how anything and everything can be patterned in this way, as if you are looking at the world through a prism or kaleidoscope. I think that's a really simple, cool way to put her work. So what we're going to do now is, this is the perfect time for you to go lift your paper and your pencils. And what we're going to do is just take some of her pattern, some of her colour, we're going to translate them into our own sketches, into our own illustrations. Just please remember that your illustration doesn't have to be a replica of mine, nor does it have to be a replica design of Keely's. Of course they can be if you want them to be, but don't put too much pressure on yourself, okay? Nobody's examining you. We're just going to have a bit of fun, and I'm just going to suggest some techniques that you can do, and I'm going to be doing a sort of follow along kind of exercise. I hope that you find this really, really fun. Let's get to it.
So here I just thought I'd show you the mess of my supplies, because we're keeping it real. And as you can see, I have a limited colour choice. It's not that I'm working with a pack of 24 colouring pencils. As you can see, I just have green, yellow, brown, orange, blue, a kind of pinky purple colour and a red. And then in between, just a normal, regular HB pencil. So what I want you to start off doing is just draw a head shape of the person that you're going to draw. You can either just make it somebody from your imagination, but the idea of this is so that we are celebrating women still in what we are drawing. So I'm just going to draw my mum in this one, just because she is the best woman in my life. She has carried me through so much. So this is just a head shape, right? Bog standard. And then what we're going to do is give her a little neck. But I just decided I'm going to put everybody in polo necks today, just because it will give us more material to work with. So to do a polo neck, and by the way, the neck is going to be exaggerated lengthwise because it's not a realist portrait, okay? Just a little illustration. So just follow what I'm doing, and obviously the good thing about these kind of videos is that you can go back and you can watch this over and over again if you're struggling to draw any sort of shape. My drawing may be a little bit off because I keep checking the camera to make sure everything's okay, but that is what a polo neck should look like. And then don't take the shoulders from here because that will look very funny. We're going to take it from about here, and we're going to give our person some shoulders. Some little shoulders. Oh, and by the way, guys, I switched pencil as well just because the HB wasn't showing up very well on camera. So right now I am just on 4B, which, just for anybody that doesn't know, just means that it's a little bit heavier so that you guys can see. So right now you should have shoulders and a head. And then what I like to do the next step is to add ears. Now, if your person has big ears, do big ears, exaggerate them. If your person has small ears, give them itty bitty ears. My mum just has bog standard ears, so bog standard ears is what she's gonna get. Just like this. And then my mum's hair, we're gonna move on to the hair. So just start off by exaggerating the hairline, okay? Make that a little bit heavier, because that's where the hair is doubling up with the forehead. So I don't know if your person has a fringe, but my mum has kind of curtain bangs and they're sort of wispy. So I'm just going to add that here, just like that. If yours doesn't have a fringe, don't worry about it. And then just to start a hairline, think, does your person have a hairline in the middle? So then draw a faint line here, or hairline to the side. For me, my mum has a hairline sort of the side with her fringe. So I'm just going to draw a line straight up like that. Looks really funny right now, but I promise you it will work out. And then what we're going to do is add little hair strokes coming out of the parting, just like this. Like that. And then I'm just going to draw easy lines that represent my mum's hair. And again, don't worry about this looking like actual hair, guys. It's just an illustration. My mum's hair comes to just her shoulders. So that's kind of the texture of my mum's hair. And the same on the other side. And then no matter what kind of hair that you have, what I want you to do is see where the hair meets the neck. Just make that darker than the rest of the hair, because this adds a bit of depth and pops your illustration forward. This is what you should have now, and again, it probably still looks a bit funny. Then what we're going to do is, I'm going to do again a kind of illustrative feel of a face. So for me, I'm just going to do the eyes. If you follow these steps, start with an eye like this, just the placement of the eyes here and here. The eyes are going to be a bit bigger just because it's sort of like an illustrative kind of cartoon kind of feel. Then add the pretty eyes. Don't worry about colour or anything yet, just add where the eyes are. And again, if this person has really big, gorgeous, luscious lashes, put the lashes like out to here. But for me, my mum just has lovely lashes, so I'm going to make them sort of medium length and bring them out here. Now, if your person that you're drawing is on the younger side, so you know, kind of 20s, 30s, leave the face as it is now. But as you're getting a bit older, you can add aging lines, and the easiest way to do that is just add a little bit to the chin here, really, really faint. And that automatically will make your character seem a bit older when it comes to it. And then my mum wears glasses. Skip this step if your character doesn't wear glasses, but my mum's glasses are just little no framed lenses, just like this. And then she has a little metallic bit here, a little metallic bits here and here, and those are literally my mum's glasses. Now if you want that a wee bit more shine, you can do this and it can mimic a bit of glass. And then for noses, I think we're all just going to follow the same kind of pattern. So just add the nostrils where they're going to be, just like this. It looks quite scary, like Voldemort right now. And then add a line here, a line here, and then do a wee squiggle here. And then if you want more definition of the nose, my mum has slightly longer nose, so I'm just going to add these little bridge type bits. Now we're going to be moving on to lips. We're basically all going to have the same mouth, but we're just going to make the actual lips fatter or slimmer. So I think we all should smile because it's International Women's Day. So what we're going to do here is create a little smile just with one line like you used to in primary school, just like this. And that looks so funny right now. But we're going to add a little bit of lips for my mum. She doesn't have big lips. She has little lips, as she calls them. She calls her lips little lips. So I'm just going to add a line like this. Then a cupid's bow, which is kind of like a wide V, and then finish it on the other side the same, just like this. And then what we're going to do is, we're not going to join here and here, unless you want to, because again, it's up to you, but I'm just going to do this, a little line beneath that represents lips. And that is the basis of my mum. The next step I'm going to run through really quickly is see any of the sketchy lines that you don't like. Take an eraser, which is obviously a handy tool to have, and just rub the bits off that you don't like. For instance, I'm going to take this bit off, a wee bits around the chin here that make her look hairy, and yeah, just clean it up a bit. Any bits I erase by accident or not precisely enough, I can add back in. What I'm going to be doing now, I'm just going to add back in with a heavier line now that I see the outline and where I want to go. Now we're going to be moving on to colours, so check the colours that you do have, and what we're going to do is grab a colour or colours and colour in the hair in the way you deem fit. Just a kind of a rule of thumb, what I like to do is concentrate a lot more of the pigment and colour in the roots and again behind here, just so it looks like actual hair, not block, but that's up to you. You already have hopefully the sketchy lines from your HB pencil there already, but yeah, that's just a little tip that I have, so let's do it. A really good tip I have as well is do it sort of in intervals to make it look like hair. You'll see what I mean. Kind of shade in bits so that little white bits are left, so it gives the illusion of hair. My mum has now, it's kind of a transition between a blondie and grey tone, so I'm just going to add my sketch pencil here and just add a little bit of the grey tones. Then what I'm going to do is get my finger and just soften that all up. Then what I want you to do is to grab a colour or colours that match your skin tone. This is probably the best colour I have for my mum, which is the same I used for her hair, but just to go a bit lighter. So you can either colour all in solidly, or what I'm going to do is add a little bit of cheekbone by adding shading. Because my family, well not my family, it's basically me and my mum, we are very pale, so like naturally. So what I'm going to do is just add definition with what is her skin tone, rather than colour in her whole face, because we basically are nearly as pale as this page itself. And another little tip I have is under the chin, onto the neck, go darker than the rest. As you can see, I have sort of contoured her face by adding shading on the inner corner of the eye down to the nose, around the chin and on the cheekbones. I've made her ears darker because they're slightly behind her head, and the same with her neck. Now what I think is cute for any illustration is to add a little bit of blush. Go really lightly handed here because red pencils are full of lovely pigment that comes out generally stronger than the rest of the pack. But just a little blush like that I think makes them look super cute. For my mum's eyes, I'm going to be using a bog standard green. I don't think it has the shade here. Oh no, it does. It's emerald green, which is also my mum's birthstone. So I'm going to add in her green eyes. So those are her irises. And then I think I'll probably just get my sketch pencil again and add a little bit of shade on the top. Just like this, you see. Then my mum loves a little kind of pinky orangey lip, so I'm gonna give her that with the combination of magenta and dark cadmium orange. Couldn't see there because I don't have my glasses on. Now on to the Orla Keeley part. So what I'm going to do is, my mum usually would wear like more muted colours, so I'm basically just colour in the top that your character is wearing. And then with that same colour, what I want you to do is shade around the turtleneck if you have been like me and follow the turtleneck tutorial, because it gives the illusion of it sitting on the shoulders. And if you can see the insides, just colour them a little bit darker so that it gives the illusion of it going around the neck. And if you really want to take it further, create rib patterns on the neck. Now we're going to do some Orla Keeley patterns. So what goes well with blue is yellow and orange. So these are the two colours that I'm going to be using to create a kind of Orla Keeley pattern. We're going to follow a really easy pattern. We are going to draw a stem, and then draw that kind of botanical leaf pattern that Orla Keeley is very famous for. Now, again, it's not going to be a replica, it's just simply inspired. Follow this easy tutorial.
Lift your second colour.
There is the Orla Keeley inspired top to go with your character. Now the best part to celebrate Women's Day is to write something in a speech bubble as if your character is saying it. So note something that you really like about your character, even if it's yourself, and we're going to write it in first person. So for me, I'm going to write about my mum. I am very good at taking care of people. And then how to draw a speech mark, or a speech bubble rather. Just draw a bubble like this, and then towards her mouth. And there we have it, an illustration that is based on Orla Keeley and celebrating Women's Day. I hope you've really enjoyed this. Sorry that the lighting is very overhead, but I hope that you have been able to compliment yourself or another person and also learnt cool stuff about Orla Keeley. So it's just me checking in again. I just really want to thank you for taking part in this video and watching it. I would love it so much if you guys could also tag me in your attempts if you had a go at Hannah Hewitt Art. That's HannahHewittArt on Instagram or Facebook. Thank you so much.